ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to end up reviewing the unit circle. Okay. So make sure if you do have your unit circle with you, the one we went through in class, that you have it with you. Okay. And if not, I have a unit circle right here. So how do we find the trig functions within a unit circle? Okay. Just to review, remember that in a unit circle, when we ended up labeling, cosine represents our x coordinate. Sine is our y coordinate. And how do we find tangent? Just by taking sine over cosine. And then secant is 1 over cosine. Cosecant is 1 over sine. And cotangent is 1 over tan. So we're going to do some examples together. Hopefully that helps. So we have our unit circle right here. And we're looking for sine of 60 degrees. So if we look at our unit circle, here is 60 degrees. Right here. Okay. So what is sine? Remember, sine is our y coordinate. Okay. So then I would put sine of 60 degrees is equal to, it's my y coordinate, square root of 3 over 2. Okay. That's it. My y. Okay. Now let's look at 135. We're looking for secant of 135. So where is 135? 135 is right here. And secant is related to cosine. And remember, cosine is this coordinate right here, right? Our x. So if we're talking about secant, we're just going to flip those values. So it's going to be negative 2 over root 2, right? That would be secant of 135. But remember, in math, we don't have radicals on the bottom. What do we do when we have a radical on the bottom? We end up taking and multiplying by the same radical, right? Radical 2 over radical 2. Okay, so my numerator, what I have for my numerator is negative 2 radical 2 over root 2 times root 2 is root 4, and that's just 2. What happens to my 2's? 2 over 2 is just 1. So I am left with my final answer of negative root 2. So secant of 135 degrees is equal to negative radical 2. Okay. One more. We're going to look at cotangent of negative 30 degrees. Key is that right here we have negative 30 degrees. And if we're looking at negative 30 degrees, when it comes to negative values, remember we go clockwise. Counterclockwise is positive. So counterclockwise. Make it over here. Just so you remember, counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. Positive. Clockwise, in terms of our unit circle, is negative. So in this case, I'm going negative 30 degrees, so it'll be right here at 330, right? And we're talking about cotangent. And what is cotangent? Cotangent is 1 over tangent, or cosine over sine. So cosine in this case, cosine for this one, so we're able to see it. So I'm going to have square root of 3 over 2 all over negative 1/2. Okay? Remember that I always like you guys, so it helps you to rewrite it, right? And when we have division, what do? We change it to multiplication. So times 2 over 1. It's a negative. What happens to my 2's? 2 over 2 is just 1. So what am I left with? Negative root 3 divided by 1, and that's just equal to negative root 3. So that's your final answer. Okay? Hope that helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. And I know from yesterday's work, you guys did have the solutions, but I will post those anyway so you could take a look at them. Take care.